Transformers reviews, tech and the news, whatever else I use as a muse. Hit subscribe, I appreciate the views. Influences interest on YouTube. To another video, this is Influence, and today I have Chomp. This is FansToys Skullcruncher. I know his name was changed a couple times. I don't know why. I don't know. This is FansToys FT-51 CHOMP, which is the Headmaster Skullcruncher as I know him. I think I get confused all the time. Anyway, we got the 360 here, and you see what's going on happening. I think he looks great. Colors are nice. The accessories, he doesn't have a lot. I can say I like this release. Surprise, surprise. But it's not perfect. It does have some weird things about it. Initial thoughts, and we'll get into it. I just like to do initial thoughts as soon as it comes on my you know, when I open it out the box, what I look at and what I see. I'll be remiss if I didn't say the ball jointed shoulders, which is a weird design. It was weird on Fuzz, and which is X-Transbot's Streetwise. You know, that was a contention, and it's weird now, even though it feels a little stronger here. Still, I wonder, you know, why they do ball joints instead of like say those universal joints. Initial thoughts, I like to just talk about what I think of the figure straight out the box when I first opened it up, the things that caught my eye. Of course, it's painted well. What I was talking about are these, the white joints. It's nice that they are white and they do have a little aesthetic to it, but I just don't know why the skirts, well, probably due to transformation or something, or rather something they wanted to do. Maybe it's character specific, maybe it's correct, but I wish the skirts came down farther to hide that. So it was just leg and skirt. You know, you can get it like that when you have it posed, and maybe that's why they did it. So you wouldn't have to lift up the skirt in order to get the leg posed right correctly, or how you would want it. That's basically it though, as far as what I noticed that I didn't really like. I like a great deal about this figure. It's an old design. Again, we know it's been in the works forever. So who knows? I don't know if they redesigned anything from before, but it's a pretty simple transformation. So we're going to get into that. So let's jump into accessories first, which there's not much to talk about. You get this gun, which is pretty nice. Seems like some flake silver painted with the black accents on the back. Paint is done really well, of course. That's what I expect from FansToys. You have this thing, which is his tail sword. He does stand up. He doesn't really have any issue standing up. I just had him very far back, but you can see he can stand. He's fine standing. He just fell. You got this, which is his tail. It doubles as the sword. I like it. It's really nice. Nice paint. It pulls apart. We'll show that more in alligator mode. But for now, as the sword, it's all together. And I do know this is pretty tight, but there's a lot of places that are tight. So we'll talk about that. Get a card, of course. Got the card. Tech specs. He has a couple 10s. So I didn't know that. I did see on his chest that his strength is all the way up. So I would think that's one of these. I don't know which is which because it's in Chinese, it looks like. And you have the directions. Now, I didn't even use the directions. This is the first time I'm opening them. So hopefully I didn't get anything wrong. But I used FansToys video. Their videos have been all right. I used their video for, I think, Perceptor. I think I used their video for. But yeah, their videos are all right. I think they missed a couple places, maybe, or maybe I wasn't paying attention. when I was trying to do it with the video. But yeah, the video was fine. They always got some crazy choices in music though, but we're not here to judge the music of their channel. And here's the box. Typical FansToys box. Typical. You have these fellas. I wish I had him. I know he just came up. They both just came up on pre-order, and I was upset I didn't get him. And then somebody, Zach on Facebook, let me know where to go after I posted that I missed out, and then I missed out again. All right, so let's keep it moving. It's not and the last accessory is this guy, but we'll get into that. Of course, you showed where he holds the weapons well. So you just have the same, you know, the Masterpiece Norm with the little notch in the weapon. This one has doesn't have a trigger spot. So you got to kind of rest your finger like you're in rest, like gun rest mode, you know, for safety. But you can put the other fingers in and wrap it around. So that's cool. Show his face sculpt. Face sculpt is great. Paint is great. Yellow is great. The shiny red. And of course, you got the light green for the body of the Headmaster. Pull this down. You got the tech specs. Speed, super slow since he's an alligator. You got strength and intelligence. Intelligence, not that intelligent, but strength, he's strong. He's strong. So yeah, everything else, you can see the back. You see I was about to say turtle head. You can see the alligator head. And yeah, you got some pieces hanging off. Thought these were the heel spurs at first, but then these are the heel spurs. They come on. His feet come like this in the box, I assume to save space maybe because the feet are pointing down. I don't know. And these are in. I think that's the main things that you have to do when you get it out the box. I know the head does tab on back here, but mine was off a little bit when I got it out the box because it was just flapping. But there's two tabs right here that tab in up here. So if you get this right, you should tab it on. You can have it like this, and I had it like this. I think that's how it was when it came out the box. But you got to like fold this up right and get it a little closer. Then it tabs in, and it's pretty strong. Doesn't move around. So we got that. So now let's do some comparisons. Of course, let's get his brethren, the only one I had, unfortunately. Comparisons. And I like that. I like the way that looks. That's pretty cool. So now we can get into articulation. So arms go all the way around. They go up about that far. Again, it's on the ball joint, so you can't really get that much. You do get a little butterfly type in and out. You get a bicep swivel. He has double jointed elbows that get you way more than 90 degrees. So that is great. And then he has his hands individually, fingers and thumb with the knuckles. The thumb is just on the one knuckle. These have two knuckles of movement. The head, I didn't show the head. The head goes back. It's on like a hinge, and it's on the swivel that the actual Headmaster plugs into. So you have down about that much, up about that much. You can get a little side to side. I'm not sure if that's just the head in there in the Headmaster like manipulating back and forth, so I wouldn't do that too much. And you showed I showed that it can spin around. Waist swivel, he has a waist swivel, and surprisingly the head does not get in the way. So that's kind of cool. Ab crunch, no ab crunch. I'm okay with that, but some people might not be. Individual skirts. And he has none in the back. So then, see if he can do the hurdles. He can somewhat. The knees do fail a little. The legs are super heavy. but there's ratchets in the thighs up in this area, back and forth. I don't know if there's ratchets this way. I didn't check. No ratchets this way. So that's crazy. That's not cool because I'm sure, yeah, I was almost certain that it would fail. I didn't do this yet, so I like to do it on camera. Yeah, so it fails to the side. Sometimes I don't understand people's choices, but again, it may be an old design, so maybe they just didn't update it. It's just like whatever. And the ratchets in the knees, you get a little less than 90 degrees, so you do have some limitations here. I mean, granted, they had limitations in some of their new bots as well. It being old may not be a factor. It may just be what they're doing. So you can get the arms all the way around and they move ever so slightly, not too much. You can move these things if you want to. They're not really, I mean, they're supposed to be back per design. You got the swivel up here for the thighs. I showed the knees and the fact that they are ratcheted, but they do fail. It's not a very strong ratchet, and these legs are heavy. Then you got the feet. You can get that much as far as rocker. You can get down about that much. You can get up about that much, and the heel spur moves independently. So I think that's pretty much it for that. So let's get into transformation, but before that, we'll get into the Headmaster and his transformation. So of course you take the head off, you can see it a little bit better now. It's nice. It's a nice head sculpt. He's just folded up. He has a peg there on both sides. Pull the legs down. Then his arms is pegged in right there, and you can kind of elbow them up and move them up. And this guy is pretty articulated. As with the other ones, his body's all black. Got the green plastic. Face is okay. Trying to get the little... I don't know if I can. I can't get there. So yeah, there we go, about there. So you see his face is painted well, yellow with the metallic eyes. His arms go up like that. His legs get out about like that. They can go about like that. And he has an elbow that gets you 90 degrees. And he has ankle rockers. And they're on a ball joint, so they can get up and down and to the side a lot. And his knees, about 90 degrees. About the same articulation as the big bot. The head doesn't move or anything. I believe that's so it's not compromised when it's connected. And there we go. Let's get into transformation. Transformation isn't that hard. Put the fist like this. Put up the fingers to make a fist. I should say ball it up. And open this here. I push the other one. I pull this up a little bit and push the other one open. Because it doesn't say to. It just says to open this one. Well, their instructional video just says to open this one. I don't know what the instructions say. But you need to open both at least a little bit, because there you have these two pegs that go into both sides of the fist. So then when you push the fist over, you see that it's the same underneath. So wherever you can get this, and you got to get it like right in the middle. And there we go. It closes. Now move this way, and then you push this up. One complaint is that this is very loose. I don't know if I don't have it up all the way, if I'm supposed to push it harder, and it's supposed to be up there more. I don't know. I can't seem to get it, and I don't want to try it. So you do have that. It'll fall down. It's fine in alligator mode because it's resting on it, so it's leaving it up. But just noting it. Same over here. And I already broke my nail from, I mean, I need them cut. I need to cut them anyway, but they broke when I was transforming this the first time. Get that in there. Move this, push it up. Then I leave these up like this, which is what it tells you to do. And then I move this up. If it didn't come out already, you just gotta push it up. And it goes up here. And then this right here. Okay, you can't see that, can you? Nope, you cannot. So you move this up, you take that out, you move this up, and this transitions to here, and it's gonna peg in up here. So you have to move this whole mechanism up farther, and then until you can peg this in, you move this out. And also you pull that out, pull this up, and it pegs in up top here once you get it going. But I don't push this, I don't lock this in yet, because you have to move this thing right here eventually, and in order to move it, you can't lock this piece in. So just leave it out. I just leave it like that. Then we come down to the legs. Move the legs around 180, and then you move these legs around like this 180. So you have that. I will do this up here just so I don't forget. You want to move these out, move these out. Then you can push this down and pull these out. And it's kind of like the back scales, kind of. I think that's thoughtful and cool. Like, it's cool that they added that, and it gives it a little bit more definition. And I think these are supposed to go back in, but I usually just let them stay out until they need to be pushed back in, because I don't like them pushed all the way in. I like that little space there, so it gives the body a little bit more, just a tad bit. I mean, I know it's just little and nothing crazy, but after you get the back on the legs, after you get the legs together like this, this is where all this comes into play. Now it looks trickier than it is. You move that up, move this down. It's on this little thing right here. So just move that down till that bar right there is straight. Then I move it like that, just because it's going to be moved like that. Then this is supposed to, it's usually always coming up, but it's supposed to be like tabbed in there, and it's a soft tab there, and then it's like a friction tab there. But you can pull this out. Once you get it up like that, pull this out and move this a little, just so you can get this around here. Then you can move this out. Now you have this like this. I just flip this up now just because it doesn't hurt anything. Then this right here is this green thing. You can flip this around because it helps with cohesion, making it look good. Now you can move this leg. The leg pulls out a little on this bar right here. I know you can't really see it. There you go. You can see it a little better. So you pull it out on the bar. You have to move it up, because once you pull it out, then you can move it. You see how that shape is? It sits in there like that. But when you pull it down, then you can move this a little in order to flip this up and around. And as you're flipping it up and around, you have to move it back down, because then it'll go in over here. Then you can move it back up. If you need to, you can just leave the leg like that. Now this piece right here, you just flip around, you pull this out like that, and then it flips around, and it's the scales, and it just really stays like that. And that's the final position. Flip this up here, a little more scales going on. Flip this around and lock it in up here. There's a hole there that this little scale goes into. They could have just made that a regular tab, but I like that they kept with the theme. Then you move this down. Put this down here like that. Now, I believe everything is where it should be in order to move this guy around. Now you want to pull this up, which is why I left this just dangling, because you want to move this leg around. But in order to do so, you got to move the leg like that, just so you don't scrape up this paint or break anything right there. It shows to move it like that. That's why that little cut is there, probably, because then it slides past easily. But then you can move it back down where it's going to go. And this is going to be the top. But for now, we're working underneath and try to get these legs straight. I'm not going to do it yet, but in the end, you're going to flip this over. And this flap has to go under this. This is probably the only complicated part that I can say. And you can move these skirts out just to get some extra room in order to move this out a little bit, because you're going to need it. And then over here, I guess we'll show it at a different angle maybe. Move that up again. Well, flip this down. Move this down like this. On that bar, move it down so it's all the way back. Then move this up. Move this up. Here you go. Flip this. Flip this around. I always flip this now just because. Flip this all the way down. Now this, don't forget, flip that there. Give it that cohesion. And then you can move this down in order to flip it around here. Move it down again, then move it back up. Now this, flip this up. Flip this up here. Flip this down here like this. This piece, you want to flip down, and it kind of flips automatically around like it should be. Then you want to flip this around. Bend that. Make sure you bend it to get it through. Then we got to get it back up. You can close these flaps if you open the flaps to get extra room. So I move these feet a little bit like that, just because it's got to get around this thing in order to meet in the middle in here. So now move these legs down just so you can get some clearance. And you just want to start trying to close everything. So you flip this over. Like I said here, I flip this like this, and then flip it back down. Oh, one thing I forgot almost. This right here, you want to push these up. I'm not sure why. Maybe there's a spot for clearance or what. Oh yeah, right here, there's a spot for clearance. So yeah, you push that up so you can get that there. And you're good. You're almost done, almost home free. You want to pull this down because it's the back of the tail almost. Then flip this down. Flip this over. Like I said, this is the only difficult part, kind of, because you want to flip everything, then flip this up because it goes on top of that flap. Then you can lock this in like this down here. Then you can straighten out this foot. And you're good. Now over here, you want to do the same thing. This is why this gets tricky, because now you're working with this closed. So you just want to try to get it maneuvered the best you can. Flip this flat back up. Fold this, move this in there like that. And this flat has to go around, so I just maneuver it in there. Then you want to flip this up. But it gets difficult because you can see these need to close. You know, you've had transformers like this before, I'm sure. But once you get it in there, then you can start to close all this. I put the tail in now. It doesn't tell you to, but to avoid everything, all the madness, I do it. So how you do this is you pull this out. Well, first you want to segment the tail. This segment is very, very tight but it's not as tight as it was when I first got it. Then move it out. That way you can get the articulation that you get, and you can move these things out. Once this one is moved out, I think it can go out a little bit farther. I don't want to break it, but it does go out a little bit farther. You can see a big gap there. Then you move this down and flip this over, and then flip this like this. I believe it doesn't really matter, because once you put this on, you can flip the tail however you want it. I like the screws down, of course, but it only goes one way in there. So there's a tab there. There's two hole tabs, and then there's a square tab or rectangle tab, and the rectangle tab is on at the bottom. So I do it now. Like I said, I'll put it in here. I just close it up with everything else, just because I don't want to take it apart at the end to put the tail in. Can't get a pain, because you just got to get everything together now. Make sure all this stuff is together. Make sure ain't none of this fall out like that. Turn this tail over, because I realize it's upside down. So once you get these feet in here like this, then you can close this and lock it. What I was doing was closing this thing right here. I just closed it, and like the feet just sit in there however they can sit in there. Just squeeze all this together, and then now this goes down, and it has a little tab there. Tab that together, tab this down. Make sure it's straight. Like, I do have an issue with that sometimes, and I mean, that's my fault. I'm not making sure it's straight before I'm trying to close the legs, because you're maneuvering all the stuff going on. So then you maneuver the legs down here. You can move this feet up. I don't know, however you like it. They're very well articulated, so you can have them back like that, or if you want them forward, you can have them forward like this, or you can have them higher. It's just up to you. I like alligators a little bit more low. I know this is a robot alligator, but I still like it a little lower. So I have the legs like this, which may be correct. I don't know. So now the front you can fool with and get it a little tighter. Let me move these arms so you can see. Usually it goes right when you can tab it in, then you can clamp that onto this peg right there so it stays. And then you move this out like this. And last thing is this flap right here. They move out and they kind of keep the neck from falling down. Now that could be a hindrance. I like that they thought about that, but it makes it so the neck doesn't fall down. Now, if you want that extra articulation in alligator mode, you can leave them down, and then you get a little down, a little extra articulation going on. The side to side, we'll get into articulation, but for now, I'm gonna do it how it's supposed to be. Just move them around. And they don't peg or nothing. They just move around and sit right there. Covers it. It's twofold. It cleans it up a little bit, and it does that. Keeps it from falling in. So now you just move these however you want them. I like them again. I like the short-legged alligator. And here we go. It's pretty big. Big alligator, and I don't know, I like this figure. And he even has his cockpit. You open it up, it's translucent, it's black translucent. And what's impressive is, of course, he has everything that he needs in here. He has the steering wheel it moves down. I usually move it down after he sits there, but you can move it down. You got the gauges. It's not really a seat, but it kind of looks like a seat. You take your Headmaster and you can make the legs like he's sitting and put him in there. He fits. You got to put the legs together pretty well. Here he is in alligator mode. And articulation wise, be careful. These are sharp. He has a lot of good paint. Has a little blaster in his mouth. He has the silver teeth. I like how the teeth go, like the top teeth go over the bottom teeth like a real alligator, I think, or a crocodile. I don't know. But you got the silver, or I should say the metallic painted red eyes. He definitely fits in there. You saw driving the vehicle or the alligator like these. That's what the little added detail gave it. You got his, just to go over articulation, you can move his tail. This one doesn't come out, so you have 1, 2, 3, and 4 segmented. So you got 1 move, 2 move, 3 moves. So you can move it back and forth, or you can have it all to the side, or you can have it like this. You can have it expressive, kind of like the S, like that. These feet, you have in and out like that. Of course, they can move all around. They have this right here. They can go all the way up, all the way down. His feet can go back and forth. There's no real tilt, but there is a tilt because you can get a tilt with this. So you got that. There's not a tilt here, not like that. So you can get him high. If you like him high, you can get him high. I mean high like standing high, not like contact. Yeah, so you got that. I kind of, all right, dig that. The front goes all the way around because it's just the arm, so you get the same articulation as the arm. It's supposed to be up like that, so you got the elbow. Again, I showed earlier how loose this is. That's probably one of the biggest complaints I have. This goes down here, and oh, there's a tilt. I did not realize that. I thought it was screwed in because the other one's screwed in on the other side. Oh, so that's kind of cool. Okay, so they got a tilt. Look at me. I did not realize that. Oh, because it looks like it's screwed in. I would never thought if I didn't fool with it. Oh, and it's a big tilt too. So you can get that. That's a big giant tilt. So I guess that's why he has the ball joint, maybe, in order to get the better articulation. So you can get it out and down. And he has that tilt. Yeah, that's a big tilt. I didn't even realize that. Does spin all the way around. It goes up like that, and it goes down about like that. I'm not forcing it anymore. I don't think it has any more up or down. But I do know, like I said, if you get these down, you get a little bit more articulation. But yeah, all in all, and you see the bottom is pretty clean. Besides these feet just sitting there, everything else seems to have a place that it should. Super heavy, of course. And that's it. I really like it. Really like it. I like the way it looks. I like the alligator. I would leave it in alligator. I might leave it in alligator mode. But let's go back. Because that's what I do. I torture myself. I just do whatever I can. I mean, you know, you got to do the legs first. I just fool with this upper body and do whatever. Move these so I don't forget anything. Move these. Move this out of here. Can get tight. And just leave it like that, because ain't much else you can do. Start to split all this. Take the tail out. Close up the tail. Well, first you gotta move this in before you close it up. Move it in and move it in. Then you just push this. Be careful because the end is super sharp too. So I could easily see somebody pushing this and stabbing this through their hand, which would be bad. So you got that. I don't know why I'm doing that. You don't really have to, but I move this up here like this and flip it over, because then you need to fool with all this stuff. Move this up just to get it out your way. Move this piece up here like that, and then I just prepare to get this all out. Now it's easier this way, kind of, because then you just move this down and move this up like this. Flip this out. And then you can kind of get this out of here and flip it down, flip it around. Move this tail out. Just push it up like that. And then this, to move this so you can get it wherever you need to get it. But then it lines up itself because this peg goes into here. So I just put it in now just to keep it together. And you can flip this around here like that. Fold this in. Now you want to push this, get this leg where you can get it out the way to have clearance to move this down. Move all this out. I flip this so I don't forget, because I will forget. I have forgot like 3 times. Then move this up. Move it up so you can get clearance. Move this out and around. If it's not going around, you got to move it out more. Then you have it. You just move this up here like this. And you can get it in there. Kind of self-explanatory. You see how it's going, so you got to move that where it is, where it can fit into that space, and then move this up here. And you see it fits right into that space right there. This, you want to flip that around and move this up. Peg it on. You're good. You're almost there. Everything is flipped, I believe. You just want to move this up here like this. I just move this back because then you want to flip this around. Flip this around, move that back up. And then this you can kind of squeeze it into there. Now move this up. And it's easy to figure out where the feet go. Just move this bar up and that's where the feet go. Move this out. Can't ever get the heel spurs out. I don't recommend using the metal one, but I can't find my other one, and it's just the bottom of the feet. So pull that out. Spin this around, and you're good to go. Now for this one. And of course, with this one done, it's easier to do all this over here. Flip that out, pull this out. Try to get this foot around here, out here. Move this. Oh, wrong way. Move this up here. As you're flipping this. Flipping that and you see where it goes. Put that in there. Move this down here. Move it around up into that cavity. Then push this down. Flip this around. Move. I kind of move these feet out. Flip this around again, so it's not forgotten. Now you move this whichever way you can get it. Push it down. Move it back. Move it up. In here again, you maneuver it whichever way you can get it so it fits in there. Like that, and then you can just move this up to cover that little space. Now you're good to go. Move this around here, move that up there so you can get this around here. Move this in there like this. Oh, I forgot this little piece. It's all right, as long as it's not in the way. And move this up here. That little tool is perfect because it like fits around there. Move this around. Then move the whole thing around. Then you can start fooling with this. Move these back down. Don't forget that. I always forget. I mean, I remember, but I always are about to put this down before I do that. So then you just put this down and it covers up. Then you can move this where you need to move it and it locks in place. Home free. Move these out. Push these back up. Flatten out the chest again. Move these together. Move this down. It goes down far enough to get the swivel. It did click before, but it don't seem to be clicking now. I don't know. Again, move that down. Move this down and move this around. Home stretch. Get the hands out, pull both sides, and then you can push the fist kind of out. Once you push it out a little bit, then you can just close the back up because it doesn't catch on the back. I mean, it doesn't catch at all. It's just outside of these. Then you got that, put that back. Again, over here. Move that down. I'll show it this way. So then you move. That's all. It just makes it easier. And then once you get this fist out a little bit, you can just close this and move this back. Because again, these things aren't in there. Like they're not on. It's just friction. And that's so you can get the fist kind of out farther. And last but not least, throw his head on. And there he is. That's it for this video. This has been FansToys FT-51 CHOMP. If you like this review, please kindly do all the things you need to do to help me out. You know, like, subscribe, maybe. Share it, maybe. That would be great. All right, until next time, I'm out.
Ain't over. Life ain't over. Life ain't over. Life ain't over. As long as you're alive, you can give another try and take it real high if you want.